Hi, I'm Claire Clements from Positive Pants and also co-founder of Positively Empowered Kids. But I am here today to talk to you about Positive Pants. Positive Pants is all about having a positive mindset. So how can we do things to boost our brain, to boost our mind, so that we flood our brain with really good thoughts and really good feelings? And how can we do that so that we start the day off like that? Well, one way is you could wear your positive pants. I've got a pair here. So have you got your positive pants on today? I know that I have. Sometimes we need them, don't we? Sometimes we need them to make us feel a little bit more confident, a little bit stronger, a little bit braver. And that is absolutely okay, because nobody feels fantastic all of the time. It's just impossible. And that is the same for grown-ups as well as for children. So I am going to talk to you today a little bit about the power of the words that we use for ourselves. Now, we can talk about using lots of different phrases. We can talk about lots of positive things in terms of songs with great lyrics that might work for you. But what I really want to talk to you today is about the most simplest sentence that you can come up with to make yourself feel good. So often we spend our time saying negative things about ourselves. I know I do it sometimes, and I know I don't feel good when I do it. Can you think of a time when you've said something negative to yourself or to someone else even? How has that made you feel? Is it something that you feel pleased about afterwards or feel proud of doing? I'm guessing probably not. But sometimes we can't seem to help ourselves, can we? I use this example a lot, but if you've dropped something on the floor, for example, and made a mess, often we will say to ourselves, I'm so silly, I can't believe I did that. Or you might use other words, depending on what language you use. Now, the thing about that, and particularly if you're using words like stupid or idiot or anything like that, they're really negative words. They're not words that we want to be telling ourselves or talking to ourselves about. So what we want to do is we want to change that. Because when we're saying that I am something, you are saying that is you as a person. You are grounding that in yourself. When actually you're not stupid or silly. Maybe you can act silly sometimes, but that is what it's about. It's how we act, not who we actually are. So you might say, I feel really silly because I've dropped that and I shouldn't have done that. What an accident. But it's about the feeling. You feel that in that moment, and that is okay. But you are not that personality trait or that quality that you've chosen, particularly when it's a negative one. So the power of I am. Two very simple short words. I am. What comes to mind to you? If you were to say to me now, I am, and describe yourself, how would you describe yourself? What words would you use? Just pop them in the comments if you're watching, if you've got any ideas here. So often we find it quite hard to describe ourselves. Particularly in a positive way. Over the years, we've got used to maybe being a little bit shy or hiding some of our great qualities because we're worried that people might think that we're a bit big-headed or that we're showing off. But actually, it is really, really important to recognise the great qualities that you have. And that is for all children, all adults, all over the world, from every walk of life, no matter what labels you might have. It is really important to know that it is okay, and more than okay, to say great things about yourself. Okay, so what I want you to do is, if you've got a piece of paper and a pen, or you could just write it in the chat below if you haven't, I would like you to have a think about somebody that you admire. And actually, let's make that easier. Can you think of a friend or a carer or a parent, somebody that you really love being with, somebody that you can't wait to hug when you're feeling a little bit low? Who is that person for you? And of course, it's going to be different for everybody. Everyone is going to have a different person that pops into their head. So, but we're not worrying about anyone else. We're thinking about you. Who is important to you? Okay, so take a moment. And what I want you to do, just going to close our eyes for a moment. So if you can just do this, I'll just I'll look down so that you're not having to stare at me looking at you. And what we're going to do is, if you can just close your eyes, just take a moment's breath. Okay, so this is not going to be for long. Or, you know, if you don't want to close your eyes and you're feeling a bit like you need to move, you're a little bit fidgety, that's absolutely fine. So just maybe look at your hands. And maybe twitch your hands if you need to, just whatever you need to do in your lap. So just look down at your hands or just close your eyes for one moment. And we're not going to do it now. When I say go, so that you don't waste all that energy right now. But when I say go, I want you to think about that person and think about what you love about that person. What makes them so great and so special to you? Okay, so I'm going to count down from 3. And when we get to 1, I'll say go. And I want you to feel and think about those words that come to you. Okay, 3, 2, 1, go. So who is that person for you? Who do you love being around? Who makes you feel good? And why do they make you feel so good? What are their qualities? Are they funny? Are they jolly? Are they kind? Loving? Are they adventurous or brave? What things can you see in that person that you really love? Okay, right, you can open your eyes or look back up again now. So, as I say, I don't want to spend too long on that, but hopefully that's giving you a little bit of a feeling about that person, just thinking about them in a little bit more depth. Now, what I want you to do is, on the piece of paper that you've got in front of you, is write down those words if you can, or you might need somebody to help you write those words down. That is absolutely fine. Or if you didn't want to write words, you could draw that person, or maybe draw lots of hearts, something that represents your feeling about that person. Ideally, we want to have some words in our mind. It's very easy, isn't it, to say that they are amazing, they make me feel great, they're clever, they're funny, they're sensitive, you know, whatever it might be. So just take a moment, just going to pause a minute while you just take a moment to write down some of those amazing, fantastic, positive words. And you know how I know that they're going to be positive words? So the reason that we know that is because you're thinking about someone you love and care about. We're thinking about all the good qualities. So when you think about someone that you care about, we really find it very hard to find the negatives in them. But we find it easy to find them in ourselves, don't we? Sometimes we compare ourselves to others. We notice our differences. Sometimes they might bother us, sometimes they might not, but they're there, those comparisons. Okay, so I hope you've got a lovely list there, or at least 3 or 4 words about somebody that you love. And again, you can type them down in the chat if you'd like to. I'd love to feel the love that's going on at the moment for all these people that support us all the time. We all have them, don't we? Okay, now, one interesting thing about this is that we're writing about other people, but actually, all of those qualities there are qualities that exist within you yourself. So at the top of the sheet of paper, I want you to write the words, I am. Now, if you've seen the description, I've said that if you have a mirror, I would love you to have one to hand. If you haven't, that is absolutely fine as well. Maybe we could go to the bathroom later and do this, look in the bathroom mirror, or in your room you might have a mirror. I've come prepared. So I've got a little pocket mirror here. This always makes me smile because it's got a little alpaca on it. I love llamas and alpacas because they are absolutely crazy and silly. So actually, does that mean that I'm crazy and silly? Because I can recognize those qualities in something else, which means I must possess them as well. So I want you to read out your list firstly, but read it out with the word I am at the start of every word. So if you've written about this person that you love and you said that they are really funny, I want you to read it to say, I am funny. I am clever. I am confident. I am gifted. I am brilliant. You see where we're going with this? So we're really focusing on you, not actually on the other person. Because if you can recognize those traits in someone else, you can recognize all those great, wonderful, positive, amazing things about someone else. They live within inside you. And what we need to do is bring them out more and more so that you can recognize them, so that you can feel confident about the amazing abilities that you have and how wonderful you are. Now, just as a little extra, I'm going to keep this fairly short for you all because I think it's a really great exercise, but it's very, very simple, but it has a big impact. So what I would like you to do is to get your mirror, to go and stand in front of your mirror at some point, now if you have one to hand, and I want you to look in the mirror and say these things. So I'm going to do it. So I'm going to look in the mirror at myself, and I am going to say, because the things that I said about my alpaca, not a great example, but quite funny, was that they were crazy and silly. Okay, so I'm going to say, I am crazy. I am silly. Now that makes me feel like I want to laugh. That makes me feel crazy and silly as well. It makes me feel really happy and really good and just really excitable. So I want you to say the words that you've written down in the mirror to yourself. You can say them out loud or you can say them in your head. They're more powerful if you say them out loud. But stand in front of the mirror and say those phrases. And this is something that you can repeat again and again. You know, maybe pick one thing that maybe on that list there's something that you're not quite believing that you are that. It might be you don't feel that you're confident, but you've identified that as a quality in someone else. So if you keep repeating in front of the mirror and stand in that position as if you are confident, might be hands on your hips like a superhero. Stand in front of the mirror, stand tall with your head up, your shoulders back, and say, I am confident. And you will be amazed the more you do this at how it makes you feel, because we can change the way our brain works. We can change the neuroplasticity that's going on, change the muscles in the brain. So you will believe, you will start to realize, because it is true, it's not like it's not true, it is, because you are these things. And we can teach our brain to realize and recognize that and to really believe it. And you will see a massive difference in yourself. And perhaps, this is what I love to do, perhaps you could do this exercise with somebody else. And even the person that you've written about originally. So if you've written about your mum, for example, or your brother or sister, or a teacher, or your best friend, perhaps you could share that list with them and say, this is what I wrote when I thought about you. This is how you make me feel. Because it's all about spreading the good vibes and the happiness. So we can make someone else's day, can't we? We can make ourselves feel really good by doing this, but we can also give that gift of kindness to someone else and tell them how they make us feel, because I'm sure that would make their day. So I'm going to end on that note. I hope that you found that exercise and that activity really useful and fun. I hope it's had an impact. I know it's a really powerful one to do, so you might want to sit down and do it again or do it at another time. You might want to draw a picture of that person, you know, do a poster, whatever helps you to use those words in the future. You could even write them on your mirror so that you see them every time you go and brush your teeth in the morning. So I hope that's been really useful and enjoyable. As I say, my name is Claire. I'm from Positive Pants. You can order your actual Positive Pants by going on to Facebook and contacting me. And if you search for me under Positive Pants Family, or go to my website, positivepants.co.uk. And I also do creative workshops. So I do sessions like this with children to help them to understand their emotions, help build their confidence, and help them to have a stronger sense of self in a very creative and fun and unusual way. So if you want to know more about that, please do contact me. It has been fantastic being here today, and hopefully you will enjoy all the other workshops that are coming up for the rest of the day, and I will see you again soon. Bye bye.